This is the big. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is going on? Some weird vacuuming sound. This is the beginning of the episode. Mike has to leave at 9:30. If you're pissed because this episode is short, DM Mike at I
I,
am a heart. It has
I,
fuck all to do with me or Chad. It is 100% Mike who's cutting this shit short today.
I also said 9.
Yeah, that's short.
You said 9:30.
Did I?
Yeah, I think
Fuck.
so.
Mike's leaving at
Maybe I'm
9.
just hallucinating.
Mike's leaving at 9. Chad was late. I was prepared today. That's all I'm saying. I should maybe think about just doing a show on my own. The two of you are dragging my ass down. That would be a fucking terrible show.
I'd listen.
Same.
Would you? Can you imagine if I was only talking to myself, how deranged that conversation would get?
You can make a YouTube channel about it.
For the record, on the poll that we never talked about, like 88% of people said they would buy shit that I recommended.
Wow.
Told you.
Maybe they think that I'm brutally honest. Maybe that's the attraction to it.
I'd say so.
What day was it yesterday?
Monday.
But was it like the 21st?
No, today's the 21st.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. Today's the 21st.
Mm.
Unless you're listening to this on a Friday, in which case it would be the 24th.
What if you're listening to it on like a Monday of the next 2 weeks?
That's the problem with these things, right? We can never keep them
They
current.
last-
We're always a couple days behind.
They last forever though. So if someone was to sponsor the podcast, just think of all the they would still be getting sponsorship 2 years from now. How about an interesting take? Like, and this isn't. I'm going to start preface this whole thing by saying this isn't me being critical. This is just me.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, shut up! Now I'm Mike with my fucking phone that's on. Well, this isn't me. This is just me wondering what other people's take on this is. It's making that noise again.
Oh, it's probably my computer. My computer's been going nuts. Maybe I can turn my microphone
Okay,
sensitivity down.
This is, and I like this is just this is from Alex Cadou's Instagram, and he's talking about how they dry pour concrete base for outdoor living features, which I don't, to be honest, I wasn't at the showcase thing, so I don't.
That was old news. Didn't they do that like 3 years ago?
So I don't even know what they're talking about, but it's something to do with dry pouring concrete base for outdoor living features. I avoid outdoor living features like the plague because I can't stand the whole fucking part of it. Like what, and I get there. Anyways, so the post is saying dry pour base for outdoor living features. It can be done. It has been done. It works. And we have to thank Paver Pete for pushing, or Interlock Ian for pushing the envelope and making us boldly go where no hardscaper has gone before. And so I read this and I do agree that's whatever this means, dry pouring concrete base, it is innovative. But he's saying like where no hardscaper has gone before. And this, maybe this is like Mike's been posting, what's your controversial opinion? Like, haven't you been asking that? What's a controversial hardscaping opinion, Mike?
Yeah, I posted that a week ago.
So this could be controversial. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't think that Interlock Ian is a hardscaper. He's a manufacturer rep. He's backed by a like multi-billion-dollar company that probably has hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue every year. So if he wants to experiment in someone's backyard with dry poured concrete base as a manufacturer rep, if that goes bad for him, it doesn't cost him a penny out of his pocket. He doesn't have to send anyone back to fix it. So I'm not saying I don't think it's great that they're doing those kind of things and trying to find stuff, but I think that it's a false representation of who they are and what they're doing to refer to themselves as hardscapers, I guess, in my opinion, because they're not. They're manufacturer reps. And be proud of who you are and what you do. You don't need to be proud of who I am and what I do.
Is it like once a hardscaper, always a hardscaper, or to be a hardscaper?
Maybe it is. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong here. I'm not even saying that this is. It's just a way to look at it that's different, I guess, is all I'm saying. Like when I was a manufacturer rep, I was proud of being a manufacturer rep. Well, actually, I wasn't. I didn't like it at all. But
there's the truth.
I genuinely feel like I tried to avoid. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Like, can you be a hardscaper without getting paid to be a hardscaper? Like, are you a hardscaper if you're a manufacturer? This is like an open debate. This isn't just. This was me throwing out one opinion, and you guys can throw out other opinions. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but sometimes I feel like manufacturer reps are so busy trying to prove what great hardscapers they are that they're losing being proud of who they are and what they do.
Yeah, it's like any other profession. If you did something and then you stop doing it, and they go off and do sales for that specific thing, you wouldn't call yourself that thing. Like if you were a doctor and then you stopped being a doctor and you went off and did medicine sales or whatever you call that, you wouldn't say that you're a doctor still, would you?
Oh,
a practicing doctor?
No, you would always refer to yourself as doctor something.
You would refer to yourself as doctor.
This.
But that's just the degree, right? You wouldn't say that you're a practicing doctor. So maybe they're just not practicing hardscapers, but they are hardscapers.
That's fair. I think that's a fair assessment of the situation.
So
go ahead.
You've all done this, right? You've gone to this person's house, and the woman's like, "Oh, my husband used to do landscaping," right? Is he still a hardscaper? No, because he's obviously not even going to do your job. Yeah. So no, I think you have to be a practicing installer to be a hardscaper. I myself may not even be a hardscaper.
Do you think that building one job a year in a showcase makes you a practicing installer?
True.
Are you?
I'm trying to. I'm not thinking.
I don't know.
I didn't really have a side to reiterate again before I get thousands of DMs and 8 million people send this to Alex. I have all the time in the world for Alex and P. I'm just debating the way that was written and trying to have an open debate. So if you do it once a year, those guys get together and they do a big showcase job and it takes them weeks and weeks, or they do multiple showcase jobs and they tour all over the place or whatever they're doing that year. Does that make them practicing hardscapers because they're still doing the work? Or are they only doing the work in I don't know. We should run a poll.
Well, it sounds like they do more than one project a year because I did just see that reel and Alex was on stage talking about how he's done it 2 or 3 times the past year. So it seems like they.
Well, has he done it or has he been there while someone was doing it? There's a difference.
He said he did it.
He's saying he
in the reel. Well, okay. He doesn't specifically say he physically did it, but he says that he did it.
I've been to a lot of jobs this year where my guys did it, but I didn't do it. So maybe I'm in that boat too.
It's just like the architect that takes credit for the job.
Yeah. Oh, we built this beautiful backyard for you, and I didn't, but we did.
So we did the paver roadway. I guess I did. I swept HPB in the joints, so I did participate in it. Like I physically did work on the roadway. But I didn't lay any pavers. That was a team collaborative effort. So maybe there's I don't know. It just felt like the whole thing was interesting. I think that although really who we should be thanking for trying dry pour concrete mix as an experimental base for a outdoor feature would be Block Techo, not Pete or Alex, because at the end of the day, if the whole thing went for a shit the first time they did it, the one paying the bill ain't either of those motherfuckers. I don't mean that in a bad way. So Block Techo would be paying the bill to fix it. I'm sure that if it didn't go right. Now I know that they definitely calculated, it was a calculated risk they took. They're not just randomly building shit. I'm sure they engineered it to be successful. But at the end of the day, who we should be thanking, I guess, is Block Techo, because they're the one that would have been left holding the bag if it had gone shitty.
Yeah. What is this dry poured concrete? Is it just under the kitchen feature or the barbecue feature, or is it the whole thing?
I think it's just under the kitchen feature. I didn't go this year, so I don't know exactly.
There's no
talking about no forms. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no forms. There's no.
But then how do you dry pour
without a form?
I don't get that either.
Hopefully, no one comes here for education. Luckily, no one listens to this podcast. So if you want to know what dry pour concrete is, head on over to the the Hardscaper podcast with Alex, and I'm sure he talks about it there and can tell you what it is, because between the three of us, we have no fucking clue.
So I know what dry pour concrete is. I've seen lots of YouTube videos on it, and the debate is whether or not it has the same strength as just wet pouring. But I don't know how to do it without forms.
Maybe you just screed it out.
But still, it's got to be contained somehow.
I
can't wrap my head around it. That's what threw me off. I want to see how they do it.
If they just dry pour it with forms and then squirt the hose on it after, I understand that concept.
Yes. Maybe they lay pavers and then leave the space, and then they just throw the concrete in there, and that's their forms essentially. I don't know.
2.5-inch layer of concrete.
I have no idea. Should have gone.
Should have gone.
There must be a YouTube video of it fucking somewhere, the whole thing. I think you can download it. Now I'm fucking super interested in it. Next year I'm fucking going, fuck this shit. Give a shit if I'm moving snow or not.
Should I send Alex a message right now?
I think it was mid-March or something, and we were hardscaping in mid-March this year.
Just as an aside to this obviously stimulating conversation we're having, are we I think we should start planning now to go to H&A. It says we need to book our rooms now. I saw an ad. And since we can drive there now, and I'm aware of that,
are we all going to drive together?
Well, I think we should drive. I would like to carpool. I don't really want to drive.
Are we going to get the hotel?
I fucking drive everywhere.
Are we going to get one room? How many beds?
You guys can share a room. I'm going to split up from my own.
Okay.
Can't we get an Airbnb like Chad did with multiple bedrooms?
Yeah, we got an Airbnb when we went, my wife and I.
I feel like we should be planning this now.
Well, let me look at Airbnb right now.
What days
are October?
October.
Mid-October.
But you can drive there.
We can drive in my new truck.
Did you get the new truck?
Well, not yet, but they said it should be ready by then, I hope.
I want to drive in the new truck so everyone will know that I'm in a brand new truck, because it looks different than the other trucks.
Whose other trucks? Your other trucks?
No, you said that 2 weeks ago. I don't want a new Dodge because it looks like the old Dodges.
Yeah. Well, it'll look like a new Ford.
Exactly. So and they do look distinctly different than the Fords that are slightly older.
Yeah.
So we can all drive down there, and I'm going to hang out the window saying, "This is a new truck. Look at it. See how it's different than the other trucks."
You won't have to. It'll just show itself as a new truck.
That's true. I want a sign. I'm going to put a big sign in the window. Yeah, you can drive. I don't want to drive anywhere. I'm so sick of driving everywhere. On Thursday, I drove to London, Ontario for soccer, which I'm sorry if you're from London, Ontario, or you live there, but I live in Oshawa, and London, Ontario is a fucking shithole. I've never I live in Oshawa, man. And I'm like, man, Oshawa is so fucking nice compared to this place.
Really?
This is a terrible place.
Yeah.
I've been to London one time in my life and I was pissed drunk.
Same.
I wish I fucking wish I was pissed drunk. I drove there for soccer. And then I drove to Mississauga Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for soccer. I'm good. So Chad can drive to H&A.
Deal.
We'll stop and pick up Mike up. We have to pick up me first, so I'll get the front seat because I'll get shotgun and Mike will have to sit in the back.
Are we going to
It has
podcast all the way there?
Yeah, we should record podcasts the whole way there.
a
Can we get
straight
can we
11-hour podcast marathon.
Yeah.
can we get a road board?
Yeah, we'd need to get a road board. And mics for each of us. Good mics.
I have a mic. It plugs into my phone.
A feather.
I have a feather mic. There's 2 of them. Can we plug those in? We need 3 there. I don't know.
That's a good
I have
question.
this huge mic. Maybe Chad's fancy new truck. Don't the new Fords have a place for a laptop? I know the F-150s
I think so. You can lay your seat flat, completely flat.
What is that? Because it's so expensive, you have to live in it?
Well, yeah.
Like, how much was it?
122,000. I could have got the dually option for $200 more.
Oh, I would have got the dually.
Yeah, but then you could never go through a drive-through again. So kiss your food reviews goodbye.
I don't do that anymore. I'm on keto.
Forever? You're never going to bring the food reviews back.
I guess I could. I did review some pepperonis that came out. I could start reviewing like I don't know. I felt like you didn't like the food reviews. You're always kind of negative about it.
No.
Kind of hurt my feelings once when you were talking about it.
I thought it was excessive carbs in a day whenever you would have 3 or 4 bagels.
I'm just joking. Yeah, I could do well. I get those omelet bites from Tim Hortons, and like they never have them. Did we already talk about this last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still pissing me off. I can't let it go. I don't. What was that thing? What was that thing that we used to do where you could play one, sit one on the bench, and throw one away or something? What was that?
Yeah, I remember.
Is that what it was called?
You made that, didn't you?
Yeah, someone else made it. I copied it.
Okay,
for sure.
Well, we can get a place in Kentucky for $600 right now. 3 nights, Airbnb, full place, 3 beds.
How close is it to the venue?
Very close. We could walk there.
I don't want to walk. I want to ride in Chad's new truck. You don't walk when you have a brand new truck like that. You don't, and you're going to a place where there's a bunch of trucks. You don't fucking walk. You bring the truck.
Then would you want to stay closer to downtown then?
What color is the truck?
Black.
So are you going to do that wrap thing, or are you just going to leave it black?
I'm going to put black decals on the black truck.
Like flat black?
Yeah.
I like that.
Like Ghost.
I've done
Ghost
that.
decals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time you know how the police used to have that, like you can't see it, it's reflective.
Yeah.
I did one of the trucks at Ridge Lake with that.
That's sort of what I
want
to go for. Yeah.
That's cool. I like black on black, like, or you got to do like hyper glossy black on the black, or the flat black, or the matte black.
Yeah, I'll just drop it off at the decal guy and say, "Hey, I want black decals on this. You do whatever." So,
I text our decal guy today. He didn't text me back. We so the Dawn, who's our new driver, floated equipment today. That was good.
The Dawn.
I
like that.
I like Don. He's a good guy. He's a high energy man.
High energy.
Really? I didn't expect that.
I would expect the opposite. Yeah.
No, he's a high energy guy. He's super qualified, and he's a nice guy, and he did a fantastic job. I went and watched him load the excavator today, and just to, because this is the insanity of this. Like the excavator, it's a 14-ton Komatsu with a full tilt rotator on it. So I think we can all agree the machine's basically brand new. It's probably a close to $300,000 machine.
Yep.
And then the truck is worth $275 brand new now, and it's a 2022, and the float's worth $80,000 brand new, $77,000. So if you could easily say you're rolling 600,000 without exaggeration, you're rolling $600,000 down the road on this truck.
Yeah.
I'm invoicing a whopping like $125 an hour or something.
Not say.
And I'm like, this is so fucking crazy. But that's what the market bears. Like it is what it is. But I'm like, this is insane. Like this guy is driving this thing down the road and it's passing cars and it's worth arguably $750,000 going by. Because there was a huge bucket on there too. I'm like, that bucket, people are looking at it. This big, huge bucket. The bucket's probably worth 10 fucking K.
Yeah.
It's a hardened steel, blah, 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 whatever. Something like people are looking over going, oh, look at that dirty bucket. Like, that's fucking $10,000. Like, this is such a fucked up world.
There's $2,000 pieces of shit cars cutting you off, and you're rolling $600,000 down the road, expecting to get there accident free, like without a scratch.
No hassles, unloading the fucking machine in some neighborhood. Like it just, hydro wires everywhere. Fucking, Don had never floated something with a tilt rotator on it before, so I just showed him like how to put the wood under and so you're not resting it on the pistons. I sent your friends at Grib a message. I asked them for a price for a tilt rotator for our 810.
But you went right to Grib?
Yeah.
That's like going right to Techoblock for a price on Blue 60.
I don't know. What am I supposed to do?
I could have got you in touch with a dealer.
I don't deal with the dealer. I go right to the store. I didn't know that was okay. It never occurred to me to go to the dealer. I was just like, they're on.
Actually,
they follow me on Instagram. They like a lot of my pictures. So I'll just message these fuckers directly. My
absolute favorite, what would you call them? Tilt rotator installers are probably pretty close to you. Brampton, Brantford, one of the Bram somethings. They're there. They could help you out.
There's a tilt rotator manufacturer in and around Kitchener.
No way.
AMI Attachments. This is what Stefan sent me after our conversation last week, I think.
With the Ling Long?
I think they just manufacture their own AMI Attachments.
They're not importing the Ling Longs?
They're not importing the Ling Longs. They said, I asked them, where's your manufacturer facility? They said in Hawkesville, Ontario, which is a little bit north of Kitchener.
So when you shit the bed making blackberries, you move to Hawkesville.
Yeah.
And you make tilt rotators.
Well, a bunch of those like tech companies started out of the BlackBerry fallout.
Oh.
There's a movie on the BlackBerry fallout. It's really good.
Did you see the movie on Tetris?
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it's along the same lines. You would like the BlackBerry one.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
I feel deeply like you guys are living in a world I don't live in.
I worked for BlackBerry for 2 weeks.
I had a BlackBerry.
Same.
I had a BlackBerry. It was good. I liked it.
Back when everybody had the
I like that roller ball.
Yeah, the curve.
I had a curve. Yeah. It had a roller ball in it. I liked the rolling part of it.
You'd have to get it. You get it clogged and you'd have to take the ball out and clean it.
Clean the ball? Yeah. I like that whole. I had a good experience with that. I didn't have a bad experience with them.
I assembled the when they came out with their touch screen finally. I assembled those phones.
Those phones are shit.
Yeah. Because I assembled them.
For 2 weeks. They had to recall all of your production.
Oh, we know why they were shit. They weren't assembled by questionably aged people in South Asia. They were assembled by Mike.
But I sealed the deal on my what would you call it? Social media influencer campaign.
Nice.
So, like it or not, gonna be pumping the tires for Grib.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you publicly state like the what you had to do for them?
I think so. They never said I couldn't, and I think it's in everyone's best interest if I'm transparent with it. I obviously like the product. I have a Grib tilt rotator. It's my favorite of the 2 tilt rotators that we have.
Why is it your favorite?
Because it's beefier than the steel wrist by quite a bit.
I'm asking to be fair.
I mean, they're very similar, but I feel like the grip is beefier, even with the difference between the 4-ton and the 8-ton, because obviously the steel wrist is on the 4-ton, the grip's on the 8-ton. I got to make a couple posts a month, some short form, some long form, doing different things with the tilt rotator, which I mean, I do it anyway, so why not embark on something that's mutually beneficial to us and grip. They're putting temporarily a tilt rotator on the 20-ton with a couple attachments for the 8-ton. It's I don't know, and try it out.
Nice.
I've never run a 20-ton tilt rotator, but I'm excited to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that whole, you guys, yesterday I posted that video of how we got that attachment made, or the coupler made for the 20-ton bucket that I had. And I put it out there to everybody to ask them how much they thought this coupler was worth. And the thing, I think after tax, was like $5,700 just for the coupler, so that I could run my.
Pretty reasonable.
Does it?
Yeah, it's custom made, man, and that's got to be like some expensive steel.
Yeah, it was like,
I bet there's $2,500 worth of steel in that.
You said 1,700, and
so that was close.
36 hours of machine work and stuff like that. I'm like, fuck me.
I get the fabricator, like the fabricator at our yard. Like he doesn't give me any deals. He does insane work. He does not give me any, that's how I have some idea. But I would have thought that thing was going to be at least $5,000. That's a lot of that's a lot of custom.
Well, it is all custom, and tragically, it doesn't fit right. So it had to go back this morning. They had to modify it a little bit because the pin grabber wasn't grabbing it right. So I didn't get to use my bucket. We also spent $1,200 on hoses for that thing. So just to get the bucket to fit the shovel, we're in it for like $8,000. And it all has to come off when the tilt rotator comes. What's up?
So you can't use that bucket and have a tilt rotator?
No, I can, but the coupler is useless, right? Because they have their own interface for attaching the bucket to the shovel once the tilt rotator's on. And it's got an FC system, which is fast change. So there's no hoses on this thing. So you hook up the bucket and it works the hydraulics. Like you don't have to get out and screw with your hoses and shit like that, right? But in order for that to work with my bucket, I also have to get the bottom end on my bucket. So that's another $5,000 or something like that, right? Just to get that to hook up. So
man, I can't wait to be an influencer and just buy tons of shit for my excavators.
Oh yeah, like
use the influencer part of it.
Yeah, I've out money before.
I'm in 10K on this influencing. Only on this podcast can someone end up in 10K on being an influencer.
Yeah.
Hey, if you think it's all rainbows and money is coming in,
I don't think it's all rainbows.
I'm here to tell you that it's not.
I offered to pay for the grip. I didn't ask for a free one.
I will likely buy it at the end of our agreement.
The grip?
Yeah.
For the 20-ton?
For the 20-ton, yeah. It doesn't.
Sure once you have it, you'll find all kinds of shit.
Yeah. So we're already, we're getting a grapple, and I'm asking guys if I can build their big stone walls and shit like that. I think it'd go really well.
Yeah.
It's a 20-ton shovel. So maybe we can get our foot in that door, and if not, well, it's just cool to have. I don't know many other 20-ton tilt rotator operators, so.
The one at the company that shall not be mentioned was a 25-ton.
Yeah.
And it had a grapple for it. It was a 25-ton zero swing cat.
That would be a very nice machine.
$500,000 machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
with the tilt rotator and all the fucking shit and the GPS and the. It's like
That thing has to go to work every single day.
That's probably why that company doesn't
with
exist
this.
anymore. Can't spend too much time building your kid's dirt bike track.
Oh yeah, gotta do it.
So my advice to you is don't spend a lot of time building your kid's dirt bike track once you get a tilt rotator on your fucking 20-ton.
I was hoping to just sit at the yard and screen topsoil while the guys were working. To just sit in that shovel and make piles everywhere. A fresh screen topsoil.
That's a good life.
Well, that's a stress-free life. And then the phone rings and someone broke something, and then
I remember last year we did that episode with the whole fucking like phone calls in a day or whatever. Like
yeah.
today alone, I have 16 plus missed phone calls. Those are the ones I didn't answer. There's like, I don't know, 100 that I did answer today, but there's like 16 that I outright was like, yeah, I don't have time for this today. And I thought, wow, I only have 31 missed text messages.
Oh, I try not to let those go too long unread.
Sometimes I have 200.
Holy shit.
I hate seeing that.
I've had 200.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with it.
How many unread emails do you have?
I keep it at 0.
Before
I keep it at 0. Yeah.
Before I emptied the email boxes. So
you
in the
empty
winter,
them without checking them?
In the winter, I delete. Well, there was like 5,000, 6,000 unopened emails.
Wow.
It took me a whole like my main email, like my paverking1@gmail.com. If you want to sponsor me, that would be the email to get a hold of me. I'm just joking. Sponsor the whole podcast. If you want to send me I don't have 10 grand to spend on your influencer tilt rotator, so don't send me one yet. Wait until I have some money in the bank. I have enough money to influence tilt rotators right now. I'm too broke to be a tilt rotator influencer. When I cleaned it out in the winter, the one had like 5,000 unread emails. I just deleted them. I was like, fuck this. And then my phone got even though I had iCloud with 2 terabytes of information or whatever you can upload to the cloud, which I don't understand the cloud, but whatever, it's clouding. My phone started saying that I couldn't record any more videos because my phone was full and the iCloud was full. And I was like, oh, so then it said I had to delete some shit. So I had like 600 open text messages.
Holy shit.
So I picked the ones that like I thought would be important, and then I just mass deleted the rest of them. But now people are texting me and I'm like, fuck, that was part of a conversation. Shit, probably shouldn't have deleted that. Fuck. No fucking shit. Can I get this stuff back?
That's great.
Yeah, I deleted I en masse one day in the winter when it wasn't snowing and we were going broke. I mass deleted I don't know, between all my emails that I have, I mass deleted 12,000 emails in one day.
12,000. Okay, Hillary Clinton.
Whatever. You want to come and break into my paverking@gmail email, go nuts. And I don't want to look at the shit that's in there. So why you would want to look at it, I have no idea.
That'll give me anxiety. 12,000 emails. Or 1,200 emails, sorry.
Jack's bidding a job right now that has 58,000 square meters of sod.
Wow, big roll all day.
Yeah.
How do you water that much sod?
The sod guy says he can water it.
Hey, let him water it.
That's what I said. Fuck yeah, go for it, bro. I don't know how to water that.
Yeah.
You know how you water it? You do it in November.
Yeah, that's a great
that would be the only way to water it.
Yeah. That'd be the way to do it.
So here's my what was the thing? You have to play one, bench one, and cut one?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my for business advice. You can play one, cut one, bench one. So you're getting business advice from someone who used to own a business a long time ago in your business field. You have someone who currently owns a business that's giving you business advice that you're talking to about business advice.
Bigger than you? Or is it
let's just say business owner. Yeah, I understand the point you're making, but that's really diverging from what I'm trying to get to. So, but I get what you're saying. Now it's getting more
I
complex.
think that's important information.
I do too, but it's more complex. We can have a discussion about that after because I think it's a good point. I agree with you. So there's a guy, a person, a they, them, that
You can't even get to your
advice
thing.
from a they them.
So there's a they, them that used to own a business in the sector that you currently own a business. There's someone that currently owns that you respect. The size of their business, we don't know. Well, I don't, that's even, okay, brass tacks. There's someone that owns a business. There's someone that used to own a business that sold it that is now doling out business advice. There's someone that currently owns a business that's doling out business advice. And then the third option is a person who's educated, never owned a business, but is doling out business advice in your sector. Which person do you play? Which person do you bench? Which person do you cut? Mike, you're on mute.
Yeah, I have to write those down. So the first one.
The first one is there's someone who used to own a business.
Yeah.
And now is
I
in
bench that one.
Then there's someone who currently owns a business in the, like for the, we're all landscapers. So there's a landscaper that used to own a landscaping business.
Yep.
There's a landscaper who currently owns a landscaping business.
I play that one with a little bit more context. And then that last one.
The one, someone who's highly educated
cut.
And very involved,
cut,
but has never actually owned a landscaping business.
Cut.
Okay. Chad?
I'm gonna take the old timer's advice.
So you're playing the old timer.
I'm playing the old timer. I am. What's the other one? Bench. Play bench cut.
Play bench cut. Yeah.
I'm benching the smart guy, and I'm cutting. I'm cutting.
You're benching the educated person who has never owned a business but knows a lot about business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that can go into a lot of things, right? Like, are they great with fucking accounting and they know where to put your money?
No, it's someone who's trying to teach you. It's someone who's trying to teach you how to run a landscaping business.
Oh, then no. With that context, that guy's can. He's out.
Well, with more context, I might switch my things around. But yeah.
Hold on. So, okay, there's someone who used to own a landscaping business.
Yeah. Play him.
Someone who currently owns a landscaping business. And someone who talks about owning a landscaping business and is educated, but has never actually owned a landscaping business.
I think we all agree that last one's they're dog shit.
I don't know if that's
I could
true.
be wrong. Maybe I don't want to speak for you guys.
I'm just asking where you guys are with it. So do you, now that there's more context, are you changing, Mike?
No, I stick with what I went off that, but with more context of, okay, that old guy, what size of business did he have compared to the size of business that the person that I'm taking advice from that's currently in business? If they have similar, business size, then I would stick with the person that is currently in business.
So you think there's nothing you can learn from someone whose business is smaller?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'd rather have current information. I'm saying I want current information as to how they might be getting leads.
But you keep relating it to size of business, not experience. You keep saying the size of the business, and I'm saying
typically comes with experience, though. That's kind of what I'm relating it to, right?
The most successful landscaper I know never had more than him and one guy. Most successful person ever met.
That doesn't bring a lot of experience. Then they don't have experience of operating multiple crews and all. So that person I might want to take.
You don't think you don't think you can learn from him?
Absolutely, I can. That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying if there's a guy that's currently in business and they got
So you'd
5
rather
crews.
if someone was running a 5-crew business,
Yeah.
but was dead broke, but they had 5 crews, you would.
That's
prefer
not what
that
I'm saying
guy's
either.
advice
See,
over-
you're providing more context, which would change my answer.
I'm just saying.
I'm going off of, okay, if somebody
Your-
has
your
this size
assumption is
business
that
and
5
equal
crew
size
business-
business, and they're both as successful, I would go with the person currently in business. If we're comparing apples to apples, but one person was in
But
business
neither of you
20
give a
years
shit.
ago and the other person's in business right now, I would go with the business right now.
But neither of you give a shit about.
I think that's what
Neither
about
of
you,
you give.
PK?
Neither of you give a shit about the person who talks about owning a business constantly, but never owned a business, and tells everyone how to run their business, but never owned a business. Neither of you have time for that.
Correct.
I think that's unanimous. What about you, PK? What about that one?
Why didn't you have time for that? That person could have read a lot of books, be highly educated. You think that you don't think if you've actually ever because both of you run landscaping companies, you don't think unless you've actually run a landscaping company, you can't
In
fathom
comparison to
what
the
it
other
takes.
There's nuances to running a business that you wouldn't get out of a book.
Okay. It's like getting advice from somebody who's a real estate agent and applying it to our industry, such as people who take advice from a Grant Cardone who talks about 10xing your business and applying that to the construction industry.
So
you'll get something out of it, but
I'm the most interested in someone who's currently running a business. That's what I'm the most interested in. I'm personally the most interested in someone who's currently running a business, whether it's bigger or smaller, or I feel like that person has a better gauge for the market and there's potentially something I can learn from that person.
But you don't think you could learn from somebody who's operated a business and is no longer?
Well, because there's no parameters on why the business is no longer. My assumption is that
I figured he retired.
Your guy's assumption was it was a successful business. My assumption was that you might have got $30 million worth of equipment repossessed out of your fucking yard and I don't want your advice.
Yeah.
That's my assumption. I'm just saying your assumption is that it was successfully business that was sold. And so I'm just saying how different ways to look at the world, basically.
My assumption was apples to apples, same size businesses, just somebody used to and somebody currently does. Because once you start changing those, then obviously it's going to be a no-brainer one over the other.
No, I'm just saying how people's mind works, though. Yeah, your mind worked immediately where you were like, this is a retired guy who's successful. Chad's mind worked immediately like he's a retired guy that's successful. My mind immediately went to bankrupt guy that got $30 million worth of equipment processed, like fucking repossessed out of his yard. That's where my brain went. So I don't want that person's advice. But you guys, because you're looking at a retired person who conceivably, if you retire from landscaping, you were successful because you're not dead in the ground and you can still talk about it. I'll never be able to be that person because I'll never be retired. So I'll be dead in the ground and then you can source information off my tombstone.
Or these podcasts. We'll go back and listen to them all.
We'll go back and listen to the podcast. So I value the most the person who's currently operating a business.
As do I.
Whether it's bigger or smaller, I feel like they have the best idea what the current operating environment is.
I agree.
I also agree that the least valuable person to me, although they may still be valuable and there may be value of what they're saying, the least valuable person is someone who's never run a business themselves, that's never actually woke up one day and said, shit, my corporate paycheck is gone. I have to do something in order to earn money today. Has never faced that, because I think that first day is the hardest reality. And if you haven't dealt with the first day of saying, no one gives a shit about me, no one fucking cares about me, I have to figure out a way to make money on my own. If you have never dealt with that day, I don't know how you speak about business, running a business on your own. You could speak about managing some big corporation, or you could speak about, being a CEO of Amazon or some bullshit, but we're talking about running a small landscaping business. I don't know how you talk about that if you've never day one. Even if you've day one and it wasn't for you and you went, oh shit, you know what? this wasn't for me, I still think that you could talk about it, because at least for a brief period of time, you face the reality that no one gives a fuck about you and there's no one to help you. Because that's the truth about day one. No one gives a fuck about you and no one's there to help you. I'm only bringing this up because I had a conversation with someone about a sub of ours that's sort of in the midst of trying to burn two candles, or the candle at both ends. And we were just talking about like day one, like, you know, day oneing that your own business. And that's,
he's currently trying to run or
one of our subcontractors is just have full-time job and trying to run a business. And I'm saying that you haven't really day one your business, because you're still dependent on your,
you never took the leap of faith.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I agree with that. Like, I just feel like, and if you've never taken if you want to go to a corporate thing and talk about how to manage a corporation that's owned by shareholders, I don't think you need to have owned a business to do that. But when you're talking to essentially everyone in the hardscaping world as a small business owner, I feel like for me as a small business owner, I would want someone that day one to talk to me. And I'm not saying out of those three, that's where I would put the least amount. If I was at a manufacturer's conference and there was 3 rooms and I only had time for 2 rooms, that would be the room that I would probably go to last. And maybe that would cost me something.
Maybe it could cost you something. It could cost you just your time.
Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
And do you guys still idolize people in the landscape world? Like, I remember whenever I was a small landscaper beginning out, I think, oh, this person's great and that person's great and this person's doing amazing things, and I sort of lost touch. Like, I don't feel like there's anyone now that I completely idolize in the landscape world.
I don't think yeah, sorry, go ahead.
To me, if I think about it, that's sort of how I think I've made it. You know, there's no one else that I aspire to be than myself doing what I'm doing. So
I think generally I forge my own path because I'm bullheaded. And so I've always kind of, and I think I guess the easiest way to go is to go back on social media. I think that I've always been someone who was doing the opposite of what everyone else was doing. And trying to, like, I've just always been forging my own. I'm always a forger of my own path, and then I learn from my own mistakes. But in the last 18 months, I've made some pretty bad fucking mistakes, really bad fucking mistakes. So maybe for like the last 18 months, I've been sort of thinking, maybe I should pay more attention to what other people are doing. Or when people will say, don't work for that guy, he'll never fucking pay you. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be fine. And then you never get paid. I perhaps maybe I should start listening to more people and stop just forging ahead on my own. But I think I might, I don't know if I would say I idolize anyone, but I would definitely say but then whenever I go to like, I'm watching stuff, I'm obviously in the community and someone's talking about something. I just know too much about people who spout that shit. Like people who are spouting all that kind of shit. I'm like, yeah, bro, I've just been around as long. I was around before you, and I was around at your height, and I was around at your downfall, and you should shut your mouth. And like, then I struggle with the actual advice, but then sometimes I force myself to actually listen to this shit. And I go, hey, that's actually pretty smart. And maybe I should stop. I pay more attention. And then I'm like, hey, this other stuff I always worked in the past. I'm like, oh yeah, that means I'll probably go broke, because doing things the way you always did them is never a good solution to a problem. from what I know.
That's the only trick I've got in my bag is doing shit the way I've always done it.
The problem is I did shit the way I always did it, and now to be fair, we're slowly battling our way out of our shitty position that I put us in. So hopefully we'll be somewhere close to not being in that shitty position in the future. But I don't know if I would say it. I probably pay more attention to what people are saying now. I used to have this firm belief that I knew better than everyone else. I feel like that's a little shaken recently. Perhaps I don't know better than everybody else.
I don't think I know better than anyone really. I feel like I can find a way to outwork a lot of people.
So I don't
And
think
that's
that
my workaround in life is go
I think
ahead.
that it's not that I thought I know better than everybody else. I think I thought I knew better what was right for me than everybody else.
So
But
other
now I'm
people,
sort of thinking there might be people who know what's better for me than, well, that's the essential of hiring a business coach is what you're saying is this person knows better for me than I do. Right?
I think
Or
If
maybe
you,
can understand better what it takes to get to you to where you want to be. I think that's what makes a good coach, right? Is asking you, okay, where do you want to take this, as opposed to dictating what you should do. That's what makes a good coach.
and maybe that's why I've never thought that that would work for me because I don't have any particular goal or want to go anywhere.
I struggle with the same thing. Yeah,
see,
making
like
goals.
I have a hard time signing up for a business coach because I already think about business 25 hours a day, right? About my business. Who is gonna
Can you just break down how you get the 25th hour for us?
well,
How you
Isn't
subdivide
that guru who
yeah,
has
that
three
guy
days,
there,
3 days
three
of every
days,
one?
because he sleeps a little bit there
Yeah,
and he's up for, or is that Seinfeld? I don't know. But
that's
anyway,
Seinfeld, yeah.
he sleeps for 20 minutes at a time or something, and Monday is Tuesday, whatever it is. Nobody thinks about my business more than I think about my business. So how can they be as involved as me? How can they make the right decisions
What
for
if
me?
they look at your business and have a different idea than you do, and that takes your business to the next level?
It's
Because
definitely possible.
you're so in your business. Is that the
Am
problem?
I
Is
too close? I can't see the forest for the trees.
no. If you sat down with a business coach, could you tell them where you want natural designs to go?
I'm
Like
there.
what your
Like
ultimate goal is? This is it. Like
more of this. Like there's more than one thing that needs to scale if we're going to scale the whole company.
well, you just said I want to take a shot at using my 20-ton with my tilt rotator to do
Yeah.
big armor stone walls. If you had a coach that said, "Listen, I can help you get into big armor stone walls," is that like that? That's something you said you wanted to grow your business in. I'm just
Yeah.
Or what about a coach that could
How
help
do
you
you
with your influencer pursuit?
um the influencer thing is more of a hobby, not necessarily
And I'm just trying to
something.
say as
And
something that like you're just totally
yeah,
like
yeah,
you know construction, right?
yeah, I know
And
landscape
so what about
construction.
something you don't know a lot of? Would you hire a
Yeah,
coach for that?
absolutely, I think. But I'm hard pressed to find an influencing coach that I would buy into. I think it would have to be someone I'm already uh, familiar with from the landscaping side of things. Like it would have to be one of the big guys that I talk to in passing or something like that. I would take their advice. I'm not gonna hop online and search social media influencer and pick a name out of a hat and follow them, like pay them to do all this stuff. It would have to be someone from our hardscape circle. And as far as building big block walls and stuff. If there was a coach out there who could get me into that, I mean, it's only money, right? I pay a little bit, but as soon as it comes down to, oh, well, you got to get someone in below you, and then they got to hire 5 people, and then 5 more people, and fuck, that's what I'm afraid of. Get into the pyramid scheme of things.
Yeah.
I'll teach you my secrets, but you have to get 5 more people involved, and so no, thank you.
I inherently deeply rooted and probably cost me more in my life than any other personality trait. Hate people telling me what to do. Like I abhor it. I don't like it. I don't like if a crossing guard tells me I can't walk across the road. It just immediately just makes me angry. It has since I was a small child. It still does today. So I think that would be my first, no matter what, I would spend more time trying to prove how wrong this motherfucker was and how they shouldn't be telling me what to do than I would learning from them. And that's why I've never, which is wrong. They would probably teach me tons of shit and I'd be in a way better position. But I just hate people telling me to do that, to do stuff that much. Like,
I get coaching once a week.
Goat gang.
Okay.
Is that it? Well, you
I'm
told
not
us
saying-
you had that Cybertruck on order. Did you not?
I do, yeah.
It is Goat gang. Do you have
No,
a green
it's not.
trailer? You got one of those green trailers?
No, I've got my own podcast. I use that as my coaching. I don't pay for it. In fact, I got sponsors sometimes for it, and I have people on that I find interesting and want to ask questions about, whether they wrote a book or have their own podcast or anything like that. So I treat that as my coaching.
Are you better for it?
Yeah, I think it gets me thinking quite a bit. And especially like in the past couple of years, I really prepare for those interviews and try my best to, especially if it's like an author or something that wrote a pretty good book, go through their book multiple times and write down questions that I think would help me quite a bit.
Does it make you a better podcaster or a better landscaper?
It makes me a better podcaster. It makes me a better business owner. It doesn't make me a better landscaper.
You don't think that you've found any advice from how many podcasts have you done?
200 and something, 270.
So in 270, none of them made you a slightly better landscaper?
No, because I think that's mostly visual and hands-on when it comes to landscaping. Everything else like is business owner, or could be landscaping, but maybe more logistics or in the sales process. So yeah, more so business owner. Probably nothing landscape related.
Fair.